Travis Wayne Goodsill. Bot videos are back. Back in 2016, YouTube had a flood of bot videos. And into 2017, and I think into 2018, they're a computer-generated voice used in place of actual humans to report or read text. And these videos were posing as news agencies. And so I was checking to compare with actual news stories, and sometimes they would be announcing news stories before the mainstream media would cover them. At other times, the mainstream media would never even touch them. And so it was difficult to confirm the legitimacy of the bot videos. With John DeLynn on his Mormon Stories podcast channel on YouTube, he's had Dr. Robert K. Rittner do practically an 8-hour podcast or video. I guess podcast is without video. It's a web chat that he did. And sure enough, having watched those two videos, YouTube then recommended Second Counselor, which is just a 40-second clip that reads a comment. Now, I haven't watched all 8 hours, and so I don't know if this is contained within. It claims that it's from a response to translation and historicity of the Book of Abraham. And so, wow, way to go, John D. You're getting thrashed again. But translation and historicity of the Book of Abraham is the church's gospel topic essay, talking about or explaining the Book of Abraham, claiming that Joseph Smith is not a translator. And so in a response to, and so I'm not sure of the response. It does offer an HTTP link, but it splits up Google. I don't know if that is legitimate. Do I dare? Let's do a quick check. If I get a virus, I'm going to be pissed, first of all, but somebody's got to check the source here. I've reported previously about the Russian who did his paper from Moscow University, posted on academia.edu, which is a legitimate source, on the church's early connection signature books. Huh. Okay. There's an error, 404, but it does connect response to Translation and Historicity of the Book of Abraham by Dr. Robert Rittner. Okay, so the link is sort of legit. I guess we have to now do a search. Robert Okay, it's got his Joseph Smith Papyra book, and you can buy it for $35 from Amazon, so it's a link to Amazon. Related. Okay, so his response does not exist. Okay, so that's interesting. You do want to get the book. It's a great book. You get the papyra with it. I showed you the papyra. Here's the Book of Abraham scroll, and then the Book of Joseph scroll. So I've been able to work from that and make sure that I get all the picture glyphs from the internet on it. But so I can't confirm, as the link does not confirm any kind of book. Well, let's check Amazon. Maybe Signature Books is not the one. And it was just to advertise for Signature Books. Okay, you can get it for $30 through Amazon rather than going through Signature. The Mechanics of Ancient Egyptian Magical Practice. That's $50. I've already, did I do a temple ceremony version of Egyptian? I wonder, but yeah, no response. Yeah, so this response is unclear as to where the source origin comes from. Ancient Egyptian sign list, picture tour of ancient Egyptian temples and their rituals. Sign list, oh, picture, no, picture tour. Maybe I didn't do one. I did it on the website, but the website's being shut down. My discoveries. Sacred Writing of Ancient Egypt. Picture book. Collection of Egyptian scripture. Selections from Genesis. And that is what I'll be going over here in just a second. Yeah, okay. So I haven't done it yet. Okay. Interesting. Seems like it would be something very easy to do, but yeah, I've been preoccupied with other things that I have not gotten back to publishing. I mean, this is what the church has done to me. You know, they attack on all fronts, and so that my life is turned upside down. So, alrighty. So he's quoted by a bot with the Book of Abraham now confirmed. See, this is because of a translation and historicity. The church is confessing Joseph Smith didn't translate it. And so if this is a fake comment by Dr. Rittner, it still shows people to go to the gospel topic essay if they were to type in translation and historicity of the Book of Abraham. And so he says, now confirmed as a perhaps well-meaning, that's a sign for you guys suck, but erroneous invention by Joseph Smith. See here, an Egyptologist who has already shamed John Gee, his student, who is the one who's responsible for writing translation and historicity, if you want to know. The LDS Church may well devote, see, now it's censoring them, telling them what to do with their church. I have Mormons who tell me what to do, so I'm very familiar with this tactic. May well devote some reflection to the status of the text. And so that's a little different than what Mormons do to me. Why don't you go do some charity work rather than complaining about the church? Despite its inauthenticity, see, again, he's throwing in slam words. So this is another thing that is interesting. I mean, is this guy, does he speak this way? Is this his manner of speech? And you'd have to watch the full 8 hours and listen to him to figure this out. Does he use these words to shame and humiliate the church with? But as I pointed out, long before even the Russian, with the video that I warned Mormons about, and it's coming, people are coming for the church now, and a rise in exposing the weaknesses of Mormons, because Mormons are not producing fruit from their faith. They're just saying faith is fruit, and that exposes Mormons to major criticism by people who are smart. And Mormons can't just hide in their homes now and say, oh, church is true, church is true, church is true, church is true. You know, you've got to be able to stand up and defend the church if you're going to be a part of it. And I'm sorry, you can't. Born and raised 50 years, I can support Joseph Smith. I can defend him against Dr. Rittner, as they did the video yesterday, exposing him as not really knowing Egyptian. It's like, what the hell, man? Can't you tell the difference between Hathor and Isis? Anyway. But lots of people in those official capacities take advantage of those who are not by putting out lies, because they themselves are not very bright. They just got the position of power. So anyway, despite its inauthenticity as a genuine historical narrative, not quite, See, this is where Egyptologists aren't quite grasping the concept of Egyptian documents, because Egyptian documents are authentic historical narratives. They're just told by the winners. And so even though the papyra, the two papyrus scrolls, refer to the Sensen texts and Book of the Dead text, they're still legitimate historical narratives. It's a religious historical narrative. And if he's legitimately making this kind of a claim of inauthenticity, shame on him. I'm pretty sure I don't know if he's a doctor, Zawi Hawass, who's the antiquities director, I believe that's still his title, in Egypt. I'm pretty sure he'd have something to say about this as well. But again, that's just speculation on my part. I've only known from experience, from hearing his comments on other issues, that he gets pretty defensive about all things Egyptian. When the DNA results came back on mummies, showing that they came from Canaan, he freaked out, flipped out, freaked out, whatever you want to call it, because that was not what he wants the results of science to be. And so, yeah, see, I've seen evidence of how he has responded to other issues, and in this one, it's not linguistics science, it was DNA science, and he still freaks out. It has to be an African origin, or it's not true. Sorry, it doesn't work that way in science. But this seems targeted without being able to identify a verifiable source coming from Dr. Rittner himself. This could potentially be a means of attacking the church, as I'm the only Mormon, oh man, no Mormon is listening anymore, who defends the work of Joseph Smith as actual translation. The Book of Mormon, Book of Abraham remains a valuable witness to early American religious history and to the recourse to ancient texts as sources of modern religious faith and speculation. Wow. So, wow. Yeah. The book still has its uses and significance, but not for the ancient world of Egypt and Abraham. It's an Egyptian document, dumbass. So, yeah, there's the manner in which it's spoken seems contrary to the Egyptologist mindset, and seems more of a twisting of the words like a bot would do. Yeah, I can't confirm the source origin of Rittner. I can confirm translation and historicity of the Book of Abraham from the church, and yes, they do denounce Joseph Smith as a translator. Thanks a lot, John Gee, for being a defender of the faith, as an apologist. If you don't know the definition of apologist, it means defender of a position using unsound argument. And this is why they're no good for organizations to have apologists. But like I said, I've confirmed Joseph is a translator, and yet the attacks are already coming out. if I lose my case and I disappear again, the church will be destroyed by someone else. It's coming, guys. It's coming. They've already attacked with the one guy who's a student at the University of Moscow comparing Freemasonry with Mormonism. I still haven't gotten to reading his paper. I did download a PDF version through academia.edu, but now we're having, it's trying to come alive. Now we're having bot videos on YouTube and social media platforms, most likely on Facebook as well, probably Twitter. This is probably a thing for Twitter. I don't know. I don't do Facebook or Twitter because of the controversies with them. YouTube has its controversies as well, as they're purposely throttling my viewing. People find me mostly from Google search. So, yeah, like I said, it's coming and it's building. And again, they're pushing to take down Mormons, to get them out of the church. The thing that is interesting, though, is that if they really are an enemy to the church, do they understand that they're not supposed to be? This could be a reverse psychology technique also. In regards to reverse psychology, it's a method of destroy the whole science of a religious organization, which will then cause human beings to feel sympathetic to the religion. Oh man, these poor religious people, they're really trying to be good. They just are deceived, and then people, oh, I'm gonna join their church just to help them out, and then you get caught up. That is a big concern. For example, YouTube presented a video by a woman who said that she joined the church because of hot missionaries who came to her door and violated the missionary protocols and went into her home alone with her to teach her the lessons, and then she became baptized and was in the church for 4 years, and she married another Mormon in the temple a year later. So yeah, that was her intention, was to get married. And so when she started to become disillusioned, she then left. But my goodness, it was sickening to listen to her. And she was talking about the missionaries and how hot they were. She just wouldn't stop talking about it. But yeah, you don't join a religion because the guys or girls are hot. You don't do it for social club. You don't do it for fascist ad populum. You're supposed to do it because you want to find the source of life.